Hey everyone, just want to continue our journey into the bones. This is going to be your hand. These bones here are going to be your carpals, which are your wrists. These bones are going to be your metacarpals, which are going to be sort of the palm of the bones that make up the palm of your hand. And then these bones here are going to be your phalanges. And so you can see that each of these are going to have one, two, three, one, two, three, except your thumb, of course, which is just going to have one and one, two. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I can flip this over and you can kind of see that the same thing, that these structures here are going to be your carpals, your metacarpals, and your phalanges. And you can call phalanges digits, but also if you're not in my class, you may want to ask your instructor whether that is okay or not. This one is your foot, and here you have your ankle bones, so like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So you have sort of these ankle bones here, but you don't really need to be able to identify any particular ankle bone except two, and they're really big, so they're really easy. This first one is going to be your talus, which is right up here, and then you have your calcaneus, right, which is your heel, right. So this is going to be your calcaneus. This is your talus, but your talus, your calcaneus, along with these cube-shaped bones, these are all going to be called your tarsals, right? So these will be your tarsals, your metatarsals, right, which make up sort of the length of your foot, and then up above here, these structures here would be your phalanges, right? And so very similar to the hand, you can see you have like one bone, two bone, three bone, and then you have like one bone, two bone, three bone, except in the big toe there. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're kind of looking at the models. Um, this next one I wanted to go over is going to be called the radius. And the cool thing about the radius is that you don't need to know too much about it. But it kind of has this wand, kind of not wand, but kind of this drum like structure on the top. And this whole area here is going to be called the head. And then where it's very pointy here, that's going to be your styloid process, right? So you have your styloid process here, and then your head here, right? So your head and styloid process there. And I can flip it around, and it's the same thing here, where your styloid process is here, and then your head would oops, I didn't mean to turn it around here, but would be all around here. Okay, this is going to be your ulna, right? So your ulna is a little weird because compared to if you look here with your radius, you had your head up here and your styloid process here. In the ulna, your head and styloid process are all in one little place here. So this structure here would be your head. It's kind of flat-ish, and what sticks out will be your styloid process, which is right there. Okay. This other part of your ulna, it kind of looks like a U. I don't know if you can kind of see it here. And when you're looking at it, this lip here, this is going to be your coronoid process, which is here, right? And then this lip here. Oops, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh, I apologize. This lip here will be your olecranon process. I'm so sorry. It's your olecranon process. And then this structure here, this lip here, or this lip, that's going to be your coronoid process. So coronoid process, olecranon process, and this whole, like the U or kind of the space here, that's going to be your trochlear notch, right? So, I don't think. Oh, actually, you do need to know that. So you have your trochlear notch, your olecranon process, your coronoid process, and then you're going to have again your head here and your styloid process, right? So again, just want to confirm that hey, you know that this end portion of the lip will be your olecranon process. Okay, so moving on to very, very small bone, this is going to be your scapula. And if you look at the scapula, you kind of have a flat end and you kind of have kind of an end that is kind of, well, I guess you can kind of say this is flat. But if you look on this side, it's very broad and this side is very flat. You see what I mean? Right? So like flat and broad. Well, the broad end will always be your sternal end, right? And sometimes we call this the medial end. And the one that is going to be super flat here, that's going to be your lateral end or your acromial end. And the reason it's called your acromial end is because it's actually going to connect to the acromion process of the scapula, right? So, yeah. But anyway, so this structure here is going to be your acromial end. Sometimes we call this the lateral end, and this will be um, your medial end or your sternal end. And I'll just kind of pick that up again. That structure is going to be your medial or sternal end, and where this end here, where it's sort of where kind of our forefinger is, right? Um, so this is sort of the end here. That structure is going to be your lateral end or your acromial end. Okay, all right.